Alrighty. Yeah, so I wanted to begin by asking a little bit about your practice. Can you tell me about your clientele, maybe within collaborative, and if you have other clientele outside of collaborative divorce?
Sure. So I pretty much function as a private therapist, and I do family therapy. It's individual therapy. So in my therapeutic hat, it's individual and family. I'm also what's called a parent coordinator. So that's I would guess I would call that the traditional legal branch. So that is not an alternative version of divorce, but somebody who the judge puts forward to do some problem solving and some skill building. And this is a stopgap. So they come here to meet with their parent coordinator before filing a motion, or when they file a motion, they attach what did your parent coordinator recommend on this issue prior to coming to the court to see me to resolve the issue. I'm a parenting time mediator. So that's creating and crafting parenting plans in the realm of mediation. And then in the collaborative arena, I'm a collaborative divorce coach and a child specialist. So most of my clientele, if not all of my clientele, are within the realm of divorce.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get into this work, into this subfield?
I was finding myself meeting with a lot of teenagers and children of divorce, and I kept feeling this sensation that if only I had participated in the negotiation side to help kind of create a better outcome for the children or for the family, then maybe they wouldn't be in such dire straits. So I had this nagging feeling, but I was sort of unaware of mediation. Certainly not collaborative law hadn't really sort of taken up in our area at the time. It's maybe going back 15 years ago. And so there was one particular case where a girl came to me and she was 13 years old and a high conflict divorce, at the court steps where they sort of came up with their magic number. That magic number had been with the professionals, whatever, in that moment of time they put through the divorce, they never see their professionals again. Yet that experience bled through for the family, tragically, for years and years and years. So by the time this girl had turned 13, she was already, writing suicide notes and both passive and active suicide ideation. And so that was sort of my aha moment that, you know what, there's got to be a better way to set these families up. I felt like I was dealing with the chip mulch at the end. And if I really were more proactive in the beginning, I wonder if they would have more durability and more structure and, frankly, more support. So when I started talking to my friends in family law, they started talking, well, there's mediation. Why don't you do mediation training? So I took my mediation training. And I started there with doing some parenting plans and sort of helping be more proactive, setting up some family peace structure. And then when collaborative law came to New Jersey, it was just a natural fit because collaborative law is in many ways a cousin to mediation. So it's both under the umbrella of alternate dispute resolution. So it's just a natural fit. What I like about collaborative law is the team approach, right? So the collaborative coach piece is really integrated into the settlement. So there's all sorts of nuances that are happening, but the family is really held together with the expertise of the three professionals working in concert. So I prefer that, but both of them are helpful.
And can you talk a little bit about kind of the format of a collaborative case? Just because I'm finding in these interviews that it really varies by clinician and by region. So what do you typically see?
So I think that you're spot on because there is no such thing as a set way to operate and to do things. There are all sorts of ways to approach a collaborative matter. Some people do collaborative cases lawyer only with no team. Some people do collaborative teams and they include just the financial professionals and not necessarily mental health professionals. And some do what's called full team, financial, mental, and the two lawyers. So our area, our region, is more pulled to full teams, but that took us about 10 years to get there, right? So our area in particular, it's called Collaborative Divorce Association of North Jersey, so regional to our county and Hudson County. They frankly started off lawyer only, and so they muddled around there for about 2 years, lawyer only, maybe 3 years, recognizing that it wasn't really working and they didn't quite understand why. And so leaders in our community went to the ICP forum and heard about this interdisciplinary approach, came back to our area and said, let's play with this, because this is lawyer only model isn't working. Certainly not to the satisfaction of what they were hoping collaborative could be and what it could deliver for families. So it was a shift that took a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of attention, a lot of training, a lot of team building, a lot of trust. And so we're now at a place, it's not magic, it wasn't like let's do it and it worked. It took a very, very long time, and our approach is pretty much full team, and it's called like a integrated facilitative model. So the collaborative coach, so my role, I'm there at every settlement meeting. So it's not like an off-site, like go off and speak with your collaborative coach. It's a neutral model, so it's not each party has their collaborative coach, so it's a neutral facilitative.
It's not each party has
their own? No.
It's one collaborative coach.
One collaborative coach. So it's come from a place of neutrality, and it's integrated in that it's you attend every settlement meeting. As a child specialist, that is not the case. So a child specialist is an off-site. A child specialist, collaborative child specialist, would not be at full team meetings, would not be at integrative settlement meetings. They would represent the voice of the child, particularly to say what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the needs of the children. Does this particular parenting plan meet with the needs? Yes or no? If yes, fine. If no, why? So it is considered like an off-site. So that information is used in the case, but it's not. It doesn't have the same role.
Yes, that's an additional role that
Separate.
Sounds like it plays a smaller part maybe, because you're not at every single.
It's not smaller because it's equally as important.
Right.
It's just different because it has a different focus and a different perspective. So
different goals,
and it's really education. Where are the children holding? We've played around with calling it family specialist, because in England they use the phrase family specialist, and what we found here, there's adult children that this affects. People who are getting married, people who are having children. Like their own children, so the clients themselves are about to become grandparents, and using the phrase child specialist isn't as appealing, yet those are people that want to participate. They want a family view. They want the people planning their wedding, they want a voice in what their parents' divorce looks like. So we're just at a place, I think, where we're thinking about shifting the language, but keeping the role the same, just expanding it to not only meet with children, traditional younger children.
Okay, so would you ever serve on the same case as both the collaborative coach and the child specialist?
No.
Okay,
That's prohibitive.
Okay, because I think it varies.
Yes,
that varies region to region too. So
that I know, but the IACP ethical guidelines prohibits it.
I see.
So they shouldn't be doing that. It's two separate people, two separate roles. I think it's clear, it's obvious why it shouldn't be the same person, but I understand that for some people it's,
It's just something I've ended up asking as I've realized that it's very different depending on the clinician and the region and, all those variables.
Absolutely.
So would you be able to walk me through, like maybe what a collaborative case looks like when you are the child specialist? Kind of like, when and how often do you meet with the child, and what other meetings do you have? Just like, what is the general case?
So typically what happens is the child specialist will meet with the children. the mother, the father, the children, sometimes dad with children.